There's got to be some discussion about. They don't use radar. That's
It
sonar.
takes too long to find clips. Like to find,
Yeah.
unless I know what clip I want, it takes 100 years to find it.
Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes when I was doing that shit, though, when I was editing a lot more, it's worth it. I was like, because you'd find that one time.
Well, and sometimes I know a soundbite that I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not out there. Like there's no like YouTube little clip of it or something. I'm like, forget it. I don't want to like
Dude,
watch the whole movie.
I wonder if you could borrow some of the radar clip from Austin Powers.
I don't know Austin Powers well enough.
Oh wow. Let's just start the episode where you say more embarrassing shit on the live stream. Dude, we're like recording this right now. And
Yeah, I know. Everyone just
know.
logged off because I said I don't watch Austin
Powers.
Powers.
Fuck. Okay. Dude, how about this summer?
Oh, man, you're telling me.
It's just been putting out absolute garbage lately.
I mean, what do people expect? It's summer. They're lucky they're even getting regular episodes at all at this point.
For real. Dude, I'm not sure if anyone's even listening anymore. I'm pretty sure they're all just on vacation.
Well, all right, let's just spin up another stinker.
One more summer show. Here we go. You just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And it's summer season. You're getting summer stuff.
Hard to plan in summertime. Look, we got like vacations.
You think the Tonight Show is good? Is Conan good in the summer? No, nothing's good in the summer.
Everyone's like, we gotta do another. It's still daylight outside. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's still light outside. I want to go hang out.
Yeah.
And
yeah. We're not putting out good stuff.
I don't have a single kid who's asleep right now. Like it's summertime. Why would they be asleep? The sun is still up. So
yeah, that's just how it is. So you get what you get, hags.
And you don't throw a fit.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. The news. We do the news every week. And every single week. The same cookie company pays for it.
They love it. They're like, this is their favorite segment.
Podcast would be half this length. You'd never know about the goings on in the video game industry. And we just bullshit. Is that what you want? That's not what Crave wants. Crave Cookies is this amazing cookie shop. You can go to cravecookies.com. Check out their cookies of the week. If you go right now and look at them, you will see their current lineup. But because we love you and because they love us, we know what's coming up next. And next in the cookie lineup, we have the cookie of choice, the one that Jenna and I get 4 of and eat all 4 of every single time, the birthday cake. It's like his...
I don't know if I've ever had this one.
It's just his sugar cookie with sprinkles, basically.
Oh.
There's nothing like that, fan. It's just like a white sugar cookie, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll eat it.
I love his sugar cookie. And you know what's the best part? He says it's his worst selling cookie. He's like, I love the sugar cookie. He's like, the pink sugar, and like this one, he's like, I love them. They're my fave. And he's like, they just sell like dog shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, I don't fucking know. So he puts this on the menu, like, despite the fact that it doesn't sell. So go get birthday cake and the other sugar cookies. Everyone wants because I was talking about this chocolate shortage. And I was like, dude, just do sugar cookies only. He's like, I wish I could, but I don't think we could afford to stay open because no one buys them.
No one buys like
so
sugar cookies, whatever.
I want chocolate
at my
chunks.
soda shop.
Yeah, I guess that's the point, is they can get those anywhere. You can get a sugar cookie anywhere. But I love Craves. They got the birthday cake. They got the Biscoff explosion. That's what people want. They want a Biscoff explosion.
They love the Biscoff
That's what they
stuff.
pull up to Crave for. Is that shit. The Rockstar, also another favorite. The Flintstone and the Coconut Crave. So with the Coconut Crave and the birthday cake, I think he has 2 iced sugar cookies.
I think that's a good week.
Pretty great. Cool. People are doing fireworks on the 9th of July in my neighborhood. It's fucking cool.
I don't know if you know this about Utah, but from July 1st until August 1st, it is open season for fireworks.
We keep our dogs' heart rates at a peak for like a whole month each year.
They love it. Every dog owner is
they fucking love it. Anyway, get your butt down to Crave Cookies, eat some cookies, and get your cookie on. Microsoft eyed buying Square Enix, Sega, and Bungie, documents show. Why not?
This is what we talk about.
They tried to buy the 3-Bit Gamer Show. It was crazy shotgun approach.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, we're selling, and then they looked at it and they were like, oh, this was an accident. We were
very awkward. Dude, the email was very awkward.
Phil Spencer, though, he was very apologetic about it. He was just like, we're too broke. We don't have any money. We can't buy your studio.
Look, dude, we have a $50 million asking price.
Well, and nothing. Part of it was that, like, oh, if you buy us, though, also you have to be a Crave Cookie supporter. And he was like, we don't have room for a cookie sponsorship right now.
They couldn't buy Crave out of the 3-Bit Gamer Show. They couldn't afford to buy him out. But they did try to buy Square Enix as recently as 2019, just 4 years ago. They looked at Square Enix and they said this was from a leaked memo. Quote, an acquisition of Square Enix would provide valuable content assets that could accelerate the growth of Xbox Games Pass and drive success for Project Scarlet. Do we know what that is? What the fuck is Project Scarlet?
I can't remember. Their names are so stupid. They mean nothing.
Better than the names
we're both looking it up right now.
What the fuck is you look it up?
It's
it's the series. It's the latest. It's the X series. Okay. So what's been coming out about this in this trial that I guess shouldn't be surprising to anyone, but it's still, I'm like, fuck, it's so brazen. They literally are just buying entire studios to prevent them from putting out games on PlayStation. Like entire studios.
They're like, what's another big game? Final Fantasy? Can we get that? Can we put that on
the whole thing
Game
so we
Pass
never
exclusive?
see it on PlayStation again? And yeah, it seems like Game Pass is like a bonus, but it really is just about like just strong arming every single game studio out of publishing on PlayStation by just purchasing them.
Honestly, this is so dumb, but the play here is that, look, they just need to stop competing with Sony and get Game Pass on the PlayStation. This is best case scenario.
Do you feel like Nintendo competes anymore? Like, there is so much room in this market that
Nintendo does whatever they want.
Carve out their own shit. And I feel like Sony PlayStation has carved out their own shit. And Xbox is like that little like freak kid. It just can't stop like drawing pictures of him in his notebook. It's like, just leave him alone, dude.
Well, their whole play is Game Pass. Sony's whole play is hardware, and they think they're competing. It's really bizarre.
I honestly have a PlayStation and don't feel like I'm loyal to one or the other, but I would never buy an Xbox. So it's like everyone has got their own space and where they fit, and they're given money. I don't know. It's just so fucking crazy.
I feel like a lot of people have both, though. It's not. I feel like it's not as much one or the other anymore.
Mm-hmm.
People are just like, yeah, I'll get an Xbox, and then.
And honestly, if it's only one, it's the Switch. If people are a single console household, 9 times out of 10 I run into
it's a Nintendo.
It's a Switch.
Yeah.
So it's like, true. Dude, and I think Microsoft isn't even bothering to compete with Nintendo because they know they'd eat their lunch. So Microsoft's just like, we'll just go like pick away at PlayStation, one like $5 billion acquisition at a time. Weird.
Although I will say, I do think PlayStation a little bit is bringing this on themselves, because there was a little while there where Microsoft was just like, we're just doing Game Pass. It doesn't matter. We're just like, everything's Game Pass. And PlayStation was like, no.
Yeah.
You are competing with us for exclusives, and that's it. And Microsoft is like, dude, we'll just whatever. Like, we'll put Game Pass games on Nintendo. We don't care. Like, we just want people to pay for Game Pass. And they're like, never. And like, I don't know. I feel like they're both being weird. Like childish about it, kind of.
They're being weird. Quit being weird.
Quit being weird. I don't.
Dear game devs, quit being fucking weird. Daedalic Studio is no longer developing video games after the dismal Gollum release.
Ooh, dude, this was rough because they were, if you remember, they did have another Lord of the Rings game like planned
in
or
the
in works.
Yeah, they're working on it. This one is gonna like lay the groundwork for that one.
Gollum destroyed them, so they were like, you know what? Never mind. We suck at game developing. We're not going to do it. So they're just focusing on publishing again,
which is what they were doing initially. And then, so they had a team of 90 total, and they cut down 25, which I feel like they were set up to fail because that tells me they probably had a total of like 30, 40 people actually working on developing and creating the game. 30 to 40 for like a AAA Target title, which this kind of was. I mean, it made like $400,000 and it wasn't even close to what they wanted to make. So that means, they're looking for AAA numbers, and 30 to 40 people. And they never made something like this. It's not like they had, like 5 Splinter Cell developers who probably could make this, single-handedly. It was just a team that was just like not set up for this. They were just set up to fail. Interesting tidbit I found while digging into this. The Daedalic Studios is not independent. They are owned by Nacon, Nacon. Nacon is a French game development game studio of some kind, but they were the ones that were involved. Do you remember like 2+ years ago, all that drama with the sinking city? There was that like one studio like had made this game and developed the whole thing, and then Nacon was supposed to publish it, but then they like had a weird severed relationship, and these guys
kind of.
But Nacon just like published it anyway, so essentially they were selling a pirated game that they didn't have like permission to, and so they were like fighting it on Steam. This was years ago.
Yeah,
I vaguely remember this. Owns the studio who tried to make this shit show Gollum game, which kind of pieces these things together, right? It's just kind of like a weird sketch company out there doing sketch stuff, and the studio that answers to them is like, hey, we've never done this before. We're just gonna kind of just go for it. We got this crazy license. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna fucking do it and be epic. And Nacon's just like, whatever. We don't fucking care. Do we look like we've got our shit together? Make Gollum. Make the Gollum.
You
video
guys
game,
do video game stuff. Just make the game. Like, I don't understand.
Why are you talking to me still?
You guys never shut up about what you're working on. Just do it and just like make us money.
I think we're gonna see. This is gonna be a lot more Lord of the Rings. Anything that happens when Lord of the Rings is gonna be like a potential stamp of just a shit show game. That's my prediction.
Oh gosh, I just want Lord of the Rings Total War. Just Total War.
You'll get it.
Just do it. That's like such low hanging fruit. Just do it.
Jason Blum wants to turn more video games into horror movies after Five Nights at Freddy's.
So, gosh, I feel like I should go grab one of my kids to talk about Five Nights.
Just gonna say the exact same thing. What the fuck? Is that only going to be kids that are into this? Five Nights at Freddy's.
And it's huge, though. That's the thing, though. Like, Five Nights at Freddy's is huge. Almost like, I feel like it's almost like a meme level huge, though, because all my kids have, like, dabbled in it and played it, and, like, they know about it, but they're not, like, into it, right? They're just like, oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, it's a joke or something.
It's like a meme.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's it. That's, like, half of their personalities these days, but everything's a meme. But
half is generous.
So he's like, we just want to make more video game horror
Dead
movies.
By Daylight.
Fun.
Dead by Daylight is in production, pre-production or something. And they're just eyeing a lot more. He mentioned the Mario movie kind of going in a unique direction, not necessarily just like following the plot of the game. Not that there's much of a plot. This is kind of a non-story because the news was very, very light this week.
Good.
What?
I got a question though.
Yeah.
Since he's talking about like things going in like different direction, he wants to make horror stuff. if you were to turn a non-horror game franchise into a horror movie, what would it be? Like
non-horror.
So make like a Minecraft horror movie. It's just like it's super scary and intense and like because I feel like that's what he wants to do. I mean, he's using a horror into horror. But I feel like he's more interested in like, oh, maybe we can maybe make this scary.
Guy does love horror movies. I guess there's some games that are. What's a game that's implicit? That's like not implicitly scary, but you're like, fuck, that game freaks me out. Subnautica. Ugh,
Oh, that'd be a great horror movie. It'd be like more like that intense horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jacob S said Call of Duty. That'd be a good one.
Just zombie mode. Call of Duty zombie mode the movie.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna keep following this because I think the fact that this guy is out there just like beating this drum. Video game movies. I love to hear it because I think there's going to be a lot of franchises out there at the level of Five Nights at Freddy's that they're fans of. This is how we get an FTL movie, I guess is what I'm getting after.
Oh wow.
This type of shit is how you get like a small indie game and a studio like this guy's studio that's just obsessed with it. Like I said, he's just looking for shit, looking for properties, looking for licenses, looking for opportunities. You can do an FTL horror. I mean, there's human-sized praying mantis aliens that like cut you apart.
I do want to know the prequel, and maybe this is out there. I just don't understand it. But in FTL, isn't it like the rebels chasing you, and you're like the Federation?
Yeah,
it's like the backwards version of every other space thing.
Yeah,
and so like I need to know what happened before that. How did we get into that situation?
So I'm saying there's some cool stuff that we might get if we are looking at not necessarily making a Halo movie or a Mario movie or a Sonic movie. Or a Mortal Kombat movie. It's like, how about a fucking Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Like
Let's make the Into the Breach movie.
Some different, somewhere small, but may kind of be like a pretty cool property. So I'm gonna keep reporting on this. I love this guy. I don't love this guy. I love what he's doing.
I don't know this guy.
Honestly, I don't know this guy.
Barely know this guy at all.
Never say you love this guy. Never.
You do not. Yeah, that's one thing we've learned. Don't say we love a studio. Don't say we love any people who work in the
love
industry.
A game, dude.
Honestly,
on
you cannot have an opinion one way or another about anything, unless it's negative. You can.
I need a background check on this guy. Sonic's co-creator Yuji Naka has been given a 2.5-year prison sentence for insider trading.
Well, this is a rich people crime. This guy,
the rich people crime that any other person would just do without even thinking about it.
We don't know, but he should know better, right? We have to do insider trading training at work annually.
He should know better because it happened before. He was arrested in November of 2018 for buying $20,000 of shares in a partner studio ahead of a game announcement at Square Enix. 20,000, is that even worth it?
It's not. No.
Even imagine if it's like, oh man, the shares went up like 50%. It's like, oh man, I made 10 large.
10
highly illegal crime. Sweet money. I'm gonna put a lease down on a Mercedes.
Yeah.
What? Are you fucking serious? 10K? So he does it in 2018 again. In 2022, he's arrested for purchasing $384,000.
He learned. He's like, you got to go big if you're gonna do it.
See, if you're gonna do crime, do all of the crime.
Do the more
don't
crime.
half-ass your crime. Don't half-ass anything, but definitely don't half-ass crime because you will go to whole-ass prison regardless. So apparently he's received fines totaling $1.2 million. See, the fines aren't fucking around. Not $10,000 fines. No. And a suspended sentence of 2 years, 6 months in prison with 4 years of probation.
Yeah. So I mean, I wonder how much money he even made on this, but
not $1.2 million. He's trading 10,000, 20,000 at a time. What a chump! What a chump!
Honestly, it's just stupid because here's the thing. If you want to do insider trading, you obviously have somebody do it for you. You don't just go buy them yourself. You're like,
Yes.
oh, yeah, hey, guess
like
what?
all of our Congress people, you just have someone else do it, like your wife or a corporation in the name of your dog.
Yeah, like, yeah,
Something
obviously
legal.
that's what you're supposed to
Something
do.
above board.
Don't buy them yourself like an idiot. Go on your Robinhood account and just buy $400,000 worth of
You
stock
could
right
do it
before you
yourself,
make an
but type
announcement.
in your wife's name. Duh.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry.
You should
You
still
will
be
do
doing
it yourself.
She doesn't know what the crimes you're doing. You're just involving her, so it's above board.
Yeah, she doesn't know any better because she's a woman. So, like, obviously the government will be like, oh, that's fine. She didn't know. But
in other news, it doesn't matter if Yuji Naka spends 2.5 years in prison or 25 years in prison because he's 60 years old and he looks younger than me.
He's not 60.
He is 57 years. The guy co-created Sonic. How fucking young do you think he is?
True.
Not as young as he looks. Did he invent Sonic when he was a baby?
Okay, that picture has to be from when he was 35 years old.
I looked on his Wikipedia. There's a picture of him from 2015, so 8 years ago when he was 51, and he legit looks younger than me now.
Okay, look,
what is he eating?
I will say Japanese people have some great genetics when it comes to aging. Like they just always they look great.
Nowhere near as much McDonald's as I do.
Honestly, I don't know how much Mountain Dew he's drinking, but he looks.
Does he know all the new flavors when they come out? I bet not.
He honestly looks great. This story has turned from Yuji being an idiot to why does he look so good?
The guy's immortal. What does you think 2.5 years in prison means nothing to him?
Literally nothing. He's going to take his profits, invest them for the next 150
That's
years.
Why he plays small fries. He's like $10,000 to an immortal. Can you know what compounding interest does? What does that look like over 200 years? Fuck.
Oh man.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
We play it again.
Let's do it again.
Put me in a happy place. I just love this. Riblets are little meat nuggets of news. Just not enough news for a full rib. But when you've kicked the cow so thoroughly that, the ribs are all just pieces, that's when you bust out riblets.
Is that how you make riblets? The cows are like beaten to death instead? They just like start hammering away at the sides? I don't know if I like that.
I don't know if any of our animals are killed humanely.
I don't know if I like riblets anymore.
I think this tracks. No, I don't think this happens when the cow is alive, dude.
They kill it and then they just start smashing.
Just push it through a crate, and that's how you get your riblets.
Yikes.
First up, Pokemon Sleep has revealed a gameplay trailer, and this is haunting. Dude, this is haunting shit. I cannot. All my notes here ended with a question mark. Let me just take you on a tour through this trailer. They give you a sleep score. You get drowsy power. You get a partner with Snorlax to improve your sleep. You get a chance of seeing, quote, rare sleep styles.
Sleep-themed Pokemon, like Pokemon and they're like
you're like, I slept Wartortle last night. I slept Wartortle style. And then you get reported to HR because they're like, sounded fucking disturbing. I don't know.
Yeah, like
is he sleeping with a bag on his fucking head? I don't know. What does Wartortle style mean? Apparently, you can then, after you sleep in there, you can listen to the sounds of your recordings. At this point, I thought, wait, pump the fucking brakes. Wait, what is this app doing? And then it tells you what it wants you to do is keep this app open on your phone, lay your phone face down on your bed.
Yeah, keep it open on your bed.
They're like, don't put it on your nightstand. Don't put it on a hard surface. Put it on your bed, which, By the way, I have seen so many people. I don't struggle to sleep. I can sleep bolt upright on a fucking plane. I've fallen asleep literally standing up and just like slept peacefully.
I'll
No
fall asleep
problem
right
for
now.
me.
I don't even. What do you?
I
I
don't
don't
give
even
a fuck.
care.
I can sleep mid sentence if I need to. But I have seen people who struggle with sleep. And number one, so much of the advice is like, don't bring your phone to bed. Don't look at your phone in bed. Don't keep your phone by you in bed. Like the phone is a fucking sleep nightmare. It is a demon.
Yes.
If you struggle with sleep. But this app is like, bring me in, put me right next to your head, and then I'm going to record the sounds of you sleeping and then give you a sleep score, and you might increase your drowsy powder. Dude, tell me this isn't
This is
like an episode of Black Mirror.
This is Black Mirror. They want to track your sleep, right? Which is
some
okay.
Scary shit.
Look, I get what they're trying to do because they got like Pokemon Go. Like we want you to walk around. Now, second part of health, we want you to sleep better, get more sleep. So we're gonna gamify sleep, where you're gonna Snorlax is gonna sing you to sleep or something. I don't know. And
no, Snorlax just sits there judging you.
How well you're sleeping.
Yeah. That's the last thing I need to do when I wake up after a shit night of sleep and Snorlax is flipping you off like, dude, you fucked up last night.
You're like, did I at least get a legendary Pokemon? No, I didn't. I just
no, dude, you slept Pidgey style last night. You're like shit, total Rat-a-tat style. That's how you slept,
like a real Magikarp.
Yeah, you just flopped there like a dumb fish baby. And I'm like, wow, well, that's how I feel. And Snorlax is like, fuck you.
Okay, if the app did that, that would actually be pretty funny.
This is tight. Just hyper aggressive.
Just like so mad. You don't sleep enough, and the app is like so aggressively mad at you, just judging you, making you feel terrible for it. Like, JD, I'm so sorry. I got to log off early tonight. I got to get a solid 8, or the things Snorlax will say to me tomorrow are going to be, honestly, I can't have the app around with my kids.
Is that Snorlax is going to mail my browser history to everybody? I don't know. It doesn't seem right.
I didn't think that was possible, but it actually showed me my browser history, highlighted a few things that were
pulled it up there, and it's like, you better start sleeping Eevee style. I'm gonna cut you up like a Magikarp. This is like a weird thing. All right, so a French gamer was sentenced for this hostage hoax at the Montreal Ubisoft office. This is 22-year-old Yanni Wonhuini.
Oh, I love JD trying to read French names.
Oh man, it's like French Canadian too. So.
Oh yeah, this is like the worst version
of
this guy. I am not joking. How many letters are in his last name? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
and
6,
they're
7,
all vowels.
8, 9.
And I buy
9
a vowel,
and most of them are vowels. There's an H,
2 O's,
and
2
an N.
U's, an A, an I, an O, an E. A-E-I-O-U. Every single vowel is in this. Some of them twice.
His first
and
name
that's
is
just
not
his
helping.
last name. He
his
has
first
2
name's
vowels
not
in
helping.
his first name.
Yanni. Sometimes
Yanni.
Y. So we'll like that's
sometimes
a half.
Y.
Yeah. Yanni
That's
Wahini.
funny. Well, he went by the gamer handle Yonox, whatever. Anyway, he had a fake hostage threat that they evacuated Montreal's Ubisoft office. He's going to spend 3 years in prison, less time in prison than our boy Yuji Naka. So that's
he
cool.
was mad because he's been banned so many times in Rainbow Six Siege.
Dude, so he's just like a double asshole. Like, he was doing this for like a personal slight against him for being an asshole in the first place. He's like, how dare you discipline me for being a prick? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a prick.
That's it.
That'll show you.
I'm going to SWAT your whole office.
Oh, you really proved that you weren't a prick. Way to go. I'm sure the judge loved that. He's like, so why did you do that? Okay, explain your motive. It's like, was it justifiable? Were you like, he's like,
okay.
Oh.
So there's this game called Rainbow Six. Okay, Rainbow Six Siege. I'm pretty good at it. I'm not great. I'm pretty good. But
so let me explain ELO to you.
I can't help myself. I have to say the most horrifying things on the chat. Because, like, look, if I'm owning noobs, I gotta say something.
That's how I'm built.
And they banned my account, and I think I read somewhere his account was banned like
multiple times, right?
Dozens of
no
times.
One gets banned once and is like, I've learned my lesson. I'm gonna stop playing the game. especially if like I don't know, dude. Like,
Yep. So, Rainbow Six. It makes me sad that I didn't stay in the game longer than what did we play for like a week before we were like, Chase, I know you gave this to us for free, but I hate this game so much.
In other news, Yanni just settled down on his cot, his first year of 3 in his prison sentence, and his cellmate's like, "Hey, dude, what are you in for?" And he's like, "All right, so there's this fucking game." You would not believe these assholes.
And he's like, "Oh, I know the game. I know what you're talking about."
The guy's like, "You too, man. You swatted." That's like the only people in prison anymore, just rage gamers.
French prison is full of people who are pissed at Ubisoft. It's crazy.
Super Mario RPG's original director is not involved in the remake, but is, quote, very pleased about it. This is Chihiro Fujioka, who worked on the original Super Mario RPG. However, I saw in this article that the original composer was invited back, so they must be a little less rusty. But if our boy Chihiro is anything like Yuji Naka, he's probably got another 50 good years in him. So they should have brought him back to work on this fucking
75. Game. Honestly, he ran 2 marathons last week. It was crazy.
Like 8-minute pace. The guy is just like a robot, just chug.
He's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just this is how I don't know. What's this weird?
This is a chum story for someone that Trent. We were gonna if we had Trent on tonight, we're just gonna chum this one for him. But in other news, this is the other news. This is it, you guys. It's thin. It's thin. Okay.
Can I give a quick Yanni Wahini update though? Because I just looked it up because
that sounds good.
Because I think I had seen this before. Reportedly, his account has been banned more than 80 times. So I don't know. Maybe maybe Ubisoft is just trolling this guy, and all he wants to do is play Rainbow Six, and he's a kid. They just keep banning his account 80 times.
80 times is deliberate. 80 times is leaving the door open. You guys aren't shutting that. You're not blocking his IP or anything. You're letting him make new accounts because you like banning.
This is some kind of joke at Ubisoft Montreal. I am convinced. Because if I had been banned like more than 3 or 4 times from a single game, I'd just be like, I'm just done. I'll just go play something else.
Make a new email, a new everything. All go through it, and they watch you do this. Because they've flagged his IP address. They watch him do all this. He starts playing, and he just like he gets killed once, and he just hits all chat. He just starts typing F A, and then
here it goes.
Bam his ass. And he's like, God damn it! And he just starts making a new email right then and there.
Yeah. Wahini4 at gmail.com.
God damn it.
Okay. As I had to.
Amazing.
Kudos.
Kudos, our positivity segment, giving shout outs to things that are good. I have a quick kudos to my favorite local service, KSL Classifieds, baby.
Oh, yeah. JD loves this.
I love KSL Classifieds. If you guys haven't used it, just another pitch. I hear Facebook Marketplace is not bad. I did a little bit of Googling and then use the Google search to go directly to the Facebook Marketplace results, because otherwise if you browse too much, Facebook's like, log in. I'm like, I can't. I don't know.
Yes, you can. You can do it.
Just use your personal identification. So I think Facebook Marketplace is okay. Craigslist is not good. But dude, KSL Classifieds, baby.
It's so good.
I put a camera lens of Jenna's up there, and it was just chilling there. It chilled there for 28 days. I actually got a warning that it was about to expire. And this guy just texted me out of the blue, 9:30 a couple nights ago when we were recording that last episode, right before we started. And he's like, dude, is this still for sale? I was like, yep. And he's like, can you give it to me? Can I get it tomorrow? I was like, yep. And he's like, can you knock $25 off? I was like, yep. I mean, And I'm a great seller. I had the original packaging, super clean, spiffy. I sent a bunch of pictures to him.
Don't act like that was you. That was Jenna.
Okay.
That was all Jenna.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, guy. That's accurate. So Jenna did a real good job caring for this thing, but I took the pictures and communicated with the stranger, so I get the pat on the back.
You get pat as well.
Guy came over, super nice, checked it out. He was using it for real estate pics. Took it away. Great. Gave me $100. And then I'm in the market for some lounge chairs. Learned that if you want like wrought iron lounge chairs, like the heavy ones, I don't want like the fucking aluminum ones that like you see at a motel, which is the only option apparently.
Like those ones in Utah, like
they blow away,
rust so fast.
Yeah, they'll just fall apart.
Yeah.
And so I want like the nice ones, and my folks always had one when I was like a kid, and I always loved it. And dude, you go out, they're fucking like $1,200.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
They are so expensive. And so I was like, wow, I guess this is like going on like a save for a year or two kind of an item. And then I just had this inspiration. I was like, I should go to KSL. I got a KSL. I scroll down through, I type in lounge chairs. I scroll down for like 1 second, 4 days ago, literally the exact same loungers that my dad and my parents had growing up, and they were posted. There was 3 of them for $400. That sale didn't work out because it was kind of weird, and there was like, because it's KSL, and you never know, it's never gonna work out.
You don't know who you're gonna get, but they're there.
They're there, and like if I found that just like right there and there, then I know that I can find these chairs that are $1,200 used for like $100, and they'll probably be in solid condition because it's wrought iron. So like, how much can you do to it? So KSL classifieds. If there's anything that you're thinking about buying new, especially like yard stuff, like check KSL. Wooden furniture, things like that aren't going to be like gross that you have to worry about. Like KSL is just like the space for it. Dude, especially wood. My dad pointed this out to me. That he like recently redid kind of his bedroom, and he got rid of a lot of his bedroom furniture, which was nice, pricey furniture. And he's like, dude, I couldn't sell it for $50 to who am I going to sell this to? Like, I spent good money on it because I wanted it, but like, who am I going to sell it to? So he sold it, like gave it away on KSL for free. Like all this stuff he spent like, hundreds or thousands of bucks on years and years ago. It's like, well, here it's free on KSL. So
easy to give stuff away for free on there. We have done that with like baby stuff. Sometimes Kelsey would be like, I'm going to sell this for $5. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to list it for free. And we just get rid of it right away.
Haulaway services. I call it KSL Haulaway services. If you have something like, and you're like, I'll take this to Goodwill. I'll do. Nope. Direct to consumer. Forget Goodwill. Don't put a middleman in there. Someone will just come to your house and get it up the next fucking day. They'll pick it up with a smile, and it doesn't matter what it is. I had a guy strap a futon to a Nissan Sentra and just drive off. It's like, I put some cardboard boxes in between on the top of his car.
It'll be fine.
It's fine, dude. It's legit. KSL. Check it out. If you're, I think it's Utah, Idaho, and Nevada.
I don't know.
Let's see. There's 3 states. Let's see. It's KSL classifieds. Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming. So that all tracks. 52 of you up in Wyoming, we got a service for you. Do you have one?
Yes.
I got kudos.
I do have one. I didn't put it on there because I wanted to beat you to it. This is for Jenna. Kudos to Jenna. Dude.
Nice.
She had another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition this weekend. I went down in Draper, watched her just kill it. She did so good. Yeah. First match, she goes in. There's 5-minute timer on the fights. She started in control of the fight, so she was on top. Control, lost a little bit of that control, but did not lose any points, didn't give up any points. So she won that on points in the first 3 minutes of the fight. So that was really great because she easily could have given up a submission in the second half of that fight, or given up a bunch of points, but she didn't. She fought hard. She was exhausted afterwards, but she won that one. So then she fought her next fight, which was her last fight. It was a small group, small bracket.
Yeah, the round robin with 3 people.
So she does her second fight. Fantastic. She submitted this girl armbar. So Jenna goes down on her back. but she had the dominant position even from her back, had her legs kind of around the girl, high on the girl's waist, kind of crawls her leg. The girl's kind of standing still, and Jenna moves her legs up, gets up kind of towards around her shoulders. So she's either going for like a triangle choke on the neck with her legs, or what she ended up doing, she got her arm, grabbed the girl's arm, tapped the girl out. Minute and a half. It was awesome. She
Super
did
tight.
so
It was
good, like
impressively
well. It was really fun to watch. So Jenna in her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition, she took gold. 2 great fights. So I had a great time watching it. So just kudos to Jenna for just kicking so much butt. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was her first fight at blue belt. It was her first fight in no gi, her first comp, I should say, at blue belt. Her first comp at it without the
that wearing the gi. And if you in jiu-jitsu, the gi, like if you're both wearing the gi, you can use that as leverage. You can grab the gi and like help to get them down. It's tougher without the gi because you can't like grab their hair and grab their shirt and rip them down. So you're like grabbing the back of their neck and trying to pull them down. It's a little bit more I'd say it's a little bit more combat sport instead of so much like a sport. And so it was awesome. Honestly, it was so fun to watch. I loved it. I would go to a competition and watch her fight every week. It was so cool.
Yeah, there were people there while she was still like sucking water and sucking wind, and they were like, "So when's your next comp?" People are stoked, and her coach is just great, and she's got a new gym and everything. So, yeah, dude, I'm pumped for her. She's addicted to this shit. She's such a nut for it. So
cool.
It's fun to watch. And we don't have a bumper for this.
I'll get one. I'll make one.
Get one. All right, GameDar is this new-ish segment.
We wanted to like make it official, right? This was like stuff we've talked about before, but we wanted to like make it official.
Very official. So this is a segment for games that we're looking out for, games that are on our wish list, on our radar, on our watch list, games that we've heard of and we're thinking about. Because a lot of the time, dude, when we did this, when I saw you throw this up there, I went and dropped into my wish list. I have like 15 games on there that haven't come out at all. And of those, like 8 of them, I had totally forgotten about. Like, I'd forgotten they even existed. And I just threw them on there because I was like, oh, just, when these games come out, if they come out, I'll be ready. But yeah, it was kind of, I just have so many. And I imagine you have the same deal.
I do, yeah.
So we're gonna get them out. Get them out of our system. Get it off our chest.
Look, we want to tell you guys about them so then you can put them on your wish list and you can suffer with us. You can suffer through the wait alongside.
Yep. Enjoy. That's the indie curse. Is you just have to sit and fucking wait for 8 years to ever see a game you want. Peterson. So you have, what do you got? You got a couple?
I've got a couple. My first one I know is on both of our radars, but we haven't really talked about it. So I was like, I got to talk about it because it is indie favorite, Streets of Rogue 2.
That's funny. I was going to put this on here. I'm glad I didn't now.
Here's why. So we haven't really talked about Streets of Rogue 2. Even though when we were playing Streets of Rogue, we really enjoyed it. It's a great game made by one guy, Matt Dabrowski.
Dude Browski.
Matt Dabrowski. He's actually really, really engaging on Twitter. But he made Streets of Rogue 1, which was like like you go into a level, you've got objectives, you do your objective, and you escape the level, and you go up to the next one. Streets of Rogue 2, why I'm excited for this. If this was like just different levels and stuff like that, different guys, like I'd still be excited for it. But this is very different. I don't know if you've looked much at the game, JD, but this is a different game.
I knew he said he's like going a completely different direction, which is weird. He's like calling it a sequel, but he's going so out there with it. But I don't know exactly what he's doing with it.
So this is like Streets of Rogue meets maybe like Dinkum, like a Stardew Valley type, because he's added farming, crafting, building, okay, but it's also like very non-linear. So this is an open world type of game,
So it's
non-linear. So you're
Minecraft
not
Streets of Rogue.
Yes, and then there's sandbox, but it's all the same stuff too. So if you go and look at the pictures, you like kind of get a sense for what this is because you look at one and you're like, okay,
Where
that
are
looks
you looking in the
Steam.
store
It's on
page?
Steam. Yeah,
Okay,
Steam
because
store.
I guess have they updated? Is he added stuff to it?
I don't know, but I really for the first time like looked at the pictures and was like, oh, okay, here we go. Because he's got like obviously a building you've built with like your farming stuff, but then you go out and do missions as well. It looks like,
Holy
and you
shit,
go out
dude.
at night and you're fighting. You're still doing the combat, and then there's still a city. There's like it's not just like there's a city you can go in and you can probably
you
do
like
all
drive. You can drive. It doesn't this
wacky
kind of look like
stuff.
Zomboid, like a little bit.
It kind of does. Yeah, it's like cartoony Zomboid.
Well,
But, like,
Zomboid in that like you go into like the woods and like set up a little base and then go into this. You drive into the city to like loot and shit. But instead of zombies, it's like
just like
Streets
people.
of Rogue shit.
Yeah, and so like I'm looking at this one picture. It looks like you're in a cave or something, and there's some guys sleeping. I'm sure you can go like rob their stuff and fight them and kill. I don't know. Like this sounds.
We got any dates or anything on this shit?
It says so. I was
coming
looking
soon.
I was digging into it. The projection is 2023. That's what
That's
Dabrowski,
now.
That's what Dabrowski is projecting 2023. Now, I mean, it's one guy developing this, so you never know. It could push it back, whatever. All sorts of stuff can happen. But the projection is this year. So I really honestly kind of hope it doesn't come out this year. I kind of hope it pushes to early 2024. Like give it to me in like February.
Dude, this
March.
is staying on Steam similar to Valheim and Raft. Like straight up. This is Minecraft Streets of Rogue.
And again, like whenever I have no reason not to trust Dabrowski because I really thought Streets of Rogue was so great before. So I want to play this.
I'm stupid pumped on this. This is crazy.
Right? Like I like this. I like this.
This is the one. Okay, so you're like, oh, where's the direction for Streets of Rogue 2? Where's it gonna go? Just blank slate. And if someone says we'll go open world craft, that seems to make them not the most sense necessarily, but it makes sense. It's like trying to think like other genres you mix in, or like we'll just make it bigger. We'll add more levels. We'll make the levels bigger. We'll add more guys. We'll add more stuff. None of that really feels like you should make the Streets of Rogue 2. Just make it DLC. This
feels like Streets of Rogue 2. Like he's taking the bones from Streets of Rogue and making a new game based on those.
A game that I could see a lot of people. Can you just throwing this absolutely out there because we don't know shit, but I could see this game blowing up even more than Streets of Rogue. Streets of Rogue, like really, because
absolutely.
they've already got Streets of Rogue 1, which has a huge user base. What is the? I want to see what the how many people like played it or whatever. How many people own or maybe reviewed Streets of Rogue 1? Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh my god, too loud. Streets of Rogue, too loud.
Streets of Rogue has its overwhelmingly positive reviews, 13,000.
13,000. So that's 13,000 people like actually took the time to leave a review. So that
includes no other platforms, by the way, because like my kids played it on Xbox, we played it on Switch.
Yeah,
like this game's all over the place. So
it's everywhere. Everyone's played it, and then they release the sequel, and it's already got that base. But if the sequel has this, like this extra little bit to it, I could really see it taking off and being everyone's like, oh wow, Streets of Rogue. I wonder what Streets of Rogue 1 is like, and everyone's like, don't bother with it. yeah, you should just stick to 2 because it's got everything.
This honestly, it looks like it could be a real hit. And I'm being dead serious. This game could
crush
be a real
it on the
hit.
Switch. Because remember, Streets of Rogue 1, one of the best things is this was up to 4-player co-op.
Yes.
And the 4-player co-op could get into the absolute madness territory. But you add this to it. Oh,
I know. I don't know how he's gonna do it. Honestly, it feels big for him, but
how much has he already built? Like you said, he's got the bones.
Yeah. So I am excited for it. I obviously am a little bit nervous. A little bit hesitant, a little bit nervous, but I'll buy it and play it.
I was gonna say,
kids
I don't
will
care.
want it.
He releases a shitter. He releases it and it just is busted and it doesn't really work. You know he'll fix it.
He'll work on it. Yeah,
He'll work on it and fix
he
it.
did so much on. I mean, he even released a Streets of Rogue 1, like some new content and stuff like that in April of this year. So he's not screwing around. Like he's having a great time doing this, and he's making some good cash doing it. I don't know. I just love it. So Streets of Rogue 2, 1,000% on my radar. This is one, when we say GameDar, like this is one I check probably every month. Like, how's this game looking? Is it out? What's it going on? You know what I mean? I check his Twitter for any updates. I check the Steam page. So I'm just, looking around for updates.
Oh my gosh. I want it so bad now. I wish you hadn't mentioned it.
I know.
Dude, what if this shit showed up on the Steam Next Fest? I would poop my pants.
Yeah, it seems like it would, but I don't know. Probably not. He's doing a ton of work. Like, again, this one dude developing this, and he's developing it for all platforms. Yeah, this is a lot of work.
All right, so how many more you got?
What's your game guard looking like? One other.
Okay, so I'll go next. One that I don't know if you've even heard about. I don't know that I've talked about it on this podcast. I was excited about it when I put it on my wish list. Went back and looked at it again in detail for this because I think I just saw it, was like, oh, I know I want that. I wish listed it. Didn't dig into it because it wasn't out and didn't even have a date. When I see games like that, I don't bother hyping myself up because I've seen games completely canceled in development before they get even to early access, and then it breaks my heart. So I don't look too deep, but because we're doing the segment, I went and looked deeper at Solarpunk. Solar, as in solar power, Solarpunk, and the tag is Cozy Survival Craft.
That's not what I thought when I heard Solarpunk.
Cozy Survival Craft. I know they kind of just throw punk out there. You throw out Frostpunk, you throw out like all these other punks, and it does not tell you anything about the genre.
Nope. I feel like it used to.
Mm-hmm.
It started with like I don't know.
Cyberpunk. What was that car one that I was like doing a car where I was like driving a taxi around a cyberpunk world? There was that one was punk. Something. It just doesn't matter. This one is called Solarpunk, and it doesn't really. It wouldn't even fit if you're like a Solarpunk style, like an art style.
Yeah, like
not fit that.
There's no punk. It doesn't look.
There's nothing about this that is Solarpunk.
Yeah,
they should change the fucking name. It's a terrible name.
They absolutely should.
The game though is amazing. Doesn't this just look exactly like Raft? Looks like it's the same people who made Raft and just used all the same assets from Raft. That art style, that cartoony Raft-looking art style. It isn't the same people, however. And the UI kind of feels like Planet Crafter. The UI in Planet Crafter is fun, and I like games that do this where it's like the actual computer screen in front of you. The UI is like a computer screen in game, if that makes sense. Like you're looking at a monitor on a desk to get the information or the data in the game, and that's how the UI looks like in this game. You're basically the crux of this game is you're building on and exploring floating islands in the sky. So imagine Raft, but instead of islands in the ocean, there are islands in the sky.
Islands in the sky.
A little airship, and you just pilot over to these other islands. They have different biomes, they have different animals, they have different crafting materials, and you go collect them and then come back to your base and build. As far as I can see, I don't even know if there's enemies in this game. I mean, it may just be like Raft, where they're just minor inconvenience enemies.
That's why they're calling it a cozy survival craft.
And that's fine for me. I don't need enemies. Like, I'm not really there for that. And in Raft, the combat was really kind of shitty. Like, it wasn't fun. You'd avoid the animals that you wanted to fight in Raft because you'd be like, ugh, I don't want to. It's just a pain. It was a chore. But they've got animals in this one. Animals, just like there's like a pig. You get a pet pig, and it like will dig up truffles for you. Type of shit. There's crafting, there's building, there's airships. Their Kickstarter was funded. I think it was like $400,000 they picked up, and so this should be made. It's mostly being made by a 2-person team. So I think it absolutely should be made. And then just as a fun note on their Kickstarter, they had these 5 games that were like their guiding kind of, I don't know, the things that they pulled from this. So for, let's see, they have Minecraft on here for survival and creativity, Worlds Adrift for the freedom and flying and traveling aspects, Raft was cited for its multiplayer elements, Stardew Valley for the cozy farming aspects, and a game called Dear Alice that I've never heard of for its setting, visuals, and feeling. So I'll have to check out Dear Alice. I don't know what that is, but it seems so peaceful. I don't know, Peterson, if you're listening to the music at all or the gameplay.
I did watch the gameplay trailer.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Raft. It just feels very much like Raft in the Sky. I know I said a game recently I played was like Raft in space, but that was mostly just the actual, like, the gameplay. This one feels like Raft top to bottom, lock, stock, and barrel. The music, the visuals, the even the weather effects feel a lot more like Raft. So, again, they've got the money. They've got a small 2-person team. They've made a number of games before. I looked at some of their games on Steam, mostly positive. People like their games, and it's a small team. And they've got support, though, this time around with this game, because they've got the Kickstarter, they've got a publisher. So the music that you might be listening to, they've got a musician. They're not making their own music. I think this could be really fucking good. I think this could be just what I want for me. It's not going to like blow anyone's mind. This is not going to be like an earth-shattering game. It's going to be like Raft in the Sky for anyone that liked Raft. But
I think what's going to make or break this game is, because it is multiplayer, is the complexity. So if it like ramps up complexity in terms of like what you need, because if it's like too easy to get all the stuff you need and build in this game, you'll be like, yeah, we're going to be 8 hours in and we're like, bored. What do we do? Right? Because you don't have a ton of space to build in, at least from what I saw, because you're on these small floating islands. So I think being able to get what you need, because it is multiplayer, it says. Well, multiplayer. So if you hop in together and you can
it's multiplayer, like Raft is multiplayer though. Like, and I've never talked to someone that played Raft that actually played it with other people. And I have no inclination to do so. And I played it a bunch. So that was a weird choice that they're using Raft as their guiding principle for multiplayer. What do you think that means?
I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, this could be fun. This could scratch an itch, for like I think a farming type of, like a Stardew Valley, the Dinkum, those types of games where you're just kind of like making something and building your world, and without combat, right? This is like a no threat type of game. I think this definitely scratches an itch for a lot of people.
So you played
Animal
Minecraft.
Crossing.
Yeah, you played Minecraft a bit way more than me. Is the farming in that like a thing? Really? Is it like really farming, or is it just mostly you're just trying to collect mats? Like, would you build a farm?
No.
Really?
Yeah. You do build a farm because you do need food. So
Okay.
you do have to eat. So you always want to have good food. But Minecraft is a little different because you can like automate some of that stuff by building like a machine.
Yeah, because in like Valheim you can farm, but you really, other than just getting a few mats, like, it's not that huge. This one seems like, and with Raft, farming is very not necessary, very unnecessary in Raft. So I'd say most of the survival craft games I played, the farming is not that big of a focus. It's like a bonus, but this one seems to be like the main focus, right?
Yeah, farming seems like every screenshot looks like it has farming in it almost. Except for the one where they're in a cave, weirdly enough. You're like, wait, what's happening there?
Maybe that's like in Stardew when you go do those fights, but I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like they were down there mining. I'm just kind of looking at their inventory list. So they're down in a cave mining. So, getting mats to craft better, better house stuff, and probably some. Yeah, I don't know. This does look like a lot of farming will be a big part of this game, though. So I don't know. We'll see. Solar Punk. So it said they're shooting for a early access date this year, with full release hopefully in 2024. Kickstarter just ended like a month ago or 2 months ago or something like that.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised if they're that far along. If I'm being
Mhm.
100% honest, that seems lofty.
I think they've got a lot of it built though, by the looks on these trailers and stuff. It's not like they
That's
just
possibly,
started on the
yeah.
Kickstarter.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe 2023, maybe end of this year, you get an early access version of it.
Are you going to wish list this? Are you interested in this?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
I want to. If I'm going to do this, I want some sort of conflict. I want fighting in it.
That's understandable. Usually. Yeah, you would have been bored to tears with Raft. Okay, what's your next one?
Okay, my next one's a big one. And I talked about it a long time ago, and then I have not talked about it for years. This is and it's a AAA game, but it's Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, nice.
Here's why. We got to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. This game comes out officially. I mean, it's out. I own the game. I own it right now.
Yeah.
Right? But it comes out officially when is this? Gosh, it's hard to know because it says release date 2020. But it comes out officially like next month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been seeing a lot about this game recently, and it's funny because I'll read something and be like, "Oh my gosh, dude, this game's gonna be sick." Because if you remember, these are the same guys who did Divinity Original Sin 2, which was probably the best RPG I've ever played. In terms of like turn-based RPG, like truly felt like you were playing a Dungeons and Dragons game. This is the same thing, same feel. I mean, at least when I played it a long time years ago, the early access release, alpha, whatever of this, it felt the same. However, I know they've added a lot and changed a lot in this game. They added, I've been seeing crazy stuff about the romancing options. So you can,
that's what we were all waiting for.
Romance anyone, and some of it's I'd say maybe R-rated a little bit, because I think you can modify your genitalia again. I don't know why that's such a thing.
That's a big deal
in these games, but so there's romancing options. You can I saw a story. One of the characters is a druid and can change into a bear. You can fall in love with this character. You can sleep with this character, and you can choose to sleep with them when they're in bear form as well. So all sorts of crazy.
So nice.
I was like, okay, some of the options in this are nonsense, but also the game is Larian Studios are saying this game is going to be like 200 hours long. Like this is a big freaking game.
You're gonna spend that much time?
Oh, I know. I didn't even finish Divinity Original Sin 2. Like I almost finished it, and then something bounced me off. And I played a lot of that game, I felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I have 105 hours in that game. So like I played a lot. 200 hours though.
That's crazy.
But what I am excited for, because I played Divinity by myself. I want to convince somebody to play Baldur's Gate 3 with me, because I know you can play Divinity together and you can like each control your characters separately and stuff, which might be kind of hard at first, and like figuring all that out, like reading the story and stuff. You got to both be kind of engaged with it. But I want to play this with somebody. Like that seems so fun to me, to just go in and play this crazy game with someone. So I know this is a big game. This is not like a hidden gem anywhere. Doesn't necessarily fit the segment, but I gotta talk about it because this, like, it's been out there in the ether for years. Since 2020 was when I played this, so it's 3 years ago. Yeah, look, this is coming out this year, and I think it's gonna be gigantic. So Baldur's Gate 3, I don't need to say much more about it because again, it's not like a hidden gem or anything. This is out there, but holy crap, this is on my radar hard, especially because I already own it.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's go make some confessions. in the basement.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
I'm typing my confessions. I hope you guys won't make fun of me. Oh,
I forget about that one. In fact, I was like,
your
"Oh, it's on here."
brain intentionally forgets.
I should listen to this, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait and then see what it is live because I think I remember that it's really bad, and I remembered correctly.
It's really bad.
It's
Keyboard
real bad.
confessions are where we confess our sins, our gaming sins. And this week, I want you to confess your shame, your backlog shame. What games have just been sitting there rotting on your backlog? You bastard. Why did you buy them? Why? You just hoarding them? You just a digital hoarder who needs to own things you're not going to use?
You sound real judgy right now, and I don't appreciate it because I do enough judging of myself, okay?
And then you slide into the confessional here, and I'm just going to glower at you through the lattice work.
Wow.
You did what?
I'm just going to shake my head the whole time you're talking. Oh, my gosh.
I will start because this one is shameful because it is one that I've been watching for, I don't know, a year, maybe more. Since last Next Fest, I believe I played it. And it came out like around my birthday. And I was like, yeah, birthday present to me. But you know what?
Get it.
Idiot JD went out and bought Zelda. That's what I can't stop. I was up till 2 a.m. last night. I do it grinding up till like 2 a.m. most nights now because I'm just trying to get through it now. But with Zelda, getting through it for me is not beating the game. It's like following all the ADHD nonsense that I need to follow all across the map as I just get distracted by every like little poof of smoke.
Dude, that's how these games get you.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I told you it's basically you take the overworld from Breath of the Wild and you add an entire underworld that is the exact size of that map, an entire overworld of these floating islands. Well, there's this thing that I've discovered where I kept seeing rocks, big stones, big chunks of these islands falling from the sky and then landing. And I realized just like a light bulb went off in my head that if I ran up to one and jumped on top of it and used my rewind power, that it would just like an elevator take me right back up into the sky.
And it works? This game's so crazy.
A nightmare for me because I will be on a mission, doing something, deliberately trying to check off things. One of these fucking rocks falls in front of me. There is literally no way I can't just jump on it and just ride it up and see what's up there. See if I find something. See if when I'm up there and I'm gliding down, instead of now gliding to my objective, which I can probably get to faster because I'm all high. Nope. I'm going to go find something else. I'm going to just follow that. Oh, there's something sparkly. Everything's
Why is that rock falling? I better check out that one.
So I'm not playing. So I'm playing this and I'm not playing the game I really want to play, which is Forever Skies.
Dude, I have that wish listed. And I was like, was this because of JD?
You should check it out. I will give you a brief reminder, though. This game takes place on the tops of gigantic skyscrapers in what seems to be a post-apocalyptic world where the ground below is poisoned. So you're on tops of these skyscrapers and below is this cloud of like poison toxic gas. And so I'm thinking, cool, it's raft on top of buildings where you have to go from building to building. And you have like an airship that you build and you add things to and you fly your airship around. And I was like, this is really, really cool. I like this game. Well, guess what I learned recently when I was like, oh, it's coming out soon, I better go look at it again, is that not only do you spend a lot of time up there, but you do actually go down to the surface of this poison world and explore.
I'm looking at it. It looks like you go down there.
Oh, I didn't even realize you go down.
And so, I guarantee that's something you unlock. Like you unlock the ability to go down
like
there.
The coolest shit down there, and that's where you get like certain mats and certain items. So again, another open world survival craft game. Looks like the story could be really fucking cool and really fun. It's out now. I own the fucking game because when they released it on sale. And I was like, well, duh, it probably won't drop down to this. And I wanted it now because I'm like, if I beat Zelda, I'm going to play this game next and I will buy it whether or not it's on sale. So I was like, buy it on sale, buy it because it'll be the next game you play. So this is a little bit of a confession. It's a little bit shameful, but it is my next thing to play after Zelda, Forever Skies. I'm kind of ashamed, but like, what do you do? What do you do? What am I supposed to fucking do? Huh?
Oh, you can't stop playing Zelda, and also this does not feel. This isn't. Sometimes you can play more than one game at once. This isn't the type of game. The type of if you're playing a Zelda, the other game you play is like a Rocket League or something like that, where it's like
or Brotato.
Around. It's like it's like doesn't matter. There's no story to it, no continuity. I'm just like whatever, just go and screw around.
And I don't have to switch my thumb configuration A to B, B to A. Ooh, because of the Switch controller.
That I haven't even thought. I haven't played the Switch for a little while. I forgot about that.
It's really bad on my brain.
Oh man. So I have a I have two different categories in Steam. You can categorize your games and place them into a category. It helps me find them easier because I've got hundreds of games.
I want to read your categories. I'll read mine when you're done.
Current. So those are the games that I'm currently playing.
I call mine favorites.
And honestly, it's not even the games I'm currently playing because there are 10 games in here. And 3 of them, this is kind of a confessional, that are in my current list, I've never even played before.
What? Why?
I've never even played with them. Because I was like, I'm going to play this. And then I
miscategorized.
It is a backlog. And there's some good ones too that I like really want to play. I look at them, I'm like, oh shoot, I want to play that game. And then I'm like, oh, but wait, Omega Strikers. Let me just play a couple rounds.
Just a little bit.
Then I've got, of course, a demos one. Actually, how I categorize my demos is demos yes and demos no. So I play a demo and I just move it over there. So when we talk about it, it's pretty easy. I've got a
dice. Just right click and remove your demos.
I know.
Oh,
so
okay.
I leave some of them. I'm like, oh, I want to try this still because some of the demo still exists.
Yeah.
I have a Dice of Destiny category where I put all of my Dice of Destiny games.
That's smart.
That is a big list. So all of my dice games have not been on Steam, obviously, but the ones that have, I have 28.
Oh yeah, that's the majority. Yeah, that's a big fat list.
Let's see, and then my backlog list is in the queue.
So mine is favorites. Wait, is that all of yours?
Oh no, and then I've got Rainy Day. Those are like games that that's like RimWorld. Games that I want to play that I'm like, I'm not always going to play, but like I just put it in there for sometimes I just want to boot it up. Rainy Day and then unplayed and then uncategorized. So
I've got favorites, which is kind of what yours is current because I've got like Brotato, FTL, Streets of Rogue, which is just permanently downloaded on my machine. Then I've got backlog, which is I have 67 games in my backlog. I don't want to talk about it. Beaten. So those are games mostly like first person games. So those are games I might go back to. Like if I'm like, where's BioShock? BioShock's in Beaten because I beat it.
You beat it.
And then I have Check Back Later. Check Back Later is games like Dome Keeper, Farlanders, Planet Crafter.
Smart that like you want to see some updates and then get back into it.
Yep. So those are all the ones that like, and like even under mine, I've got there just in case, they update it or something. And then games I'll never play again.
Oh my god.
That's where I've got games like, like Among Us.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's what it's called. It was Cloudpunk. Cloudpunk was the one where I was like driving around. And that was like a weird car sim, floating car thing. So Cloudpunk, Cyberpunk, Frostpunk, what was the one I just did?
Solarpunk
means nothing.
Means
nothing. Anyway, and then my last thing is uncategorized, and I only have 3 there because the goal is to really not have that.
Oh shoot, I've got a bunch of I've got 129 uncategorized.
Oh god, that's more than I have. Maybe no, that's not more than I have total. I have
a lot of games.
Anyway, all right.
So let's see though. In the queue list, which is 9 games, so that does not include. Actually, I'm looking at this. the 1, 2, 3, 4 games that I have never played in my current list.
Mm-hmm.
In the queue, I have some games that have been in there offensively long.
Yeah. What's your dirtiest confession?
The Witcher 3.
Oh,
I even have it downloaded.
The longer you wait, the worse that's gonna be.
I want to play it so badly, and I
Mhm.
don't want to play it at all.
100 hours
Because
minimum.
it's just a huge game. I want to play it because it's supposed to be a great game. But I have like some games that I know are great games. Monster Sanctuary, you played that. You loved it.
You
My kids
slut.
loved it.
You haven't played that yet? It's
No.
so good on this. It would be so perfect on the deck.
I have Raft in the queue. I own the game. It's right there.
You should play that for just a couple hours.
Cyberpunk 2077 is in there.
Yeah,
Here's the
5
thing.
years.
I do want to play that game again. I want to play it very badly, and I don't know if I'm going to. But so here's the other thing. I do have a backlog of games who are not in that list, but that I have purchased or wish listed that are exclusively for Dice of Destiny. I will buy a game and be like, okay, I'm going to save this in case I will get the Dice of Destiny roll for this one roll. Dude, the odds of that could be years.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I'm like, but I'm holding it. I'm like, I can't.
I have it. And then you'll get that dice roll, forget about it, and just get a new game.
I get that dice roll. And here's the problem. I have a bunch of games on my wish list. I have a bunch of games that I own that I could use for it, but I can't help it. I just love getting a new game. And so that game just sits in the backlog even longer, like it's just left alone. I bought a pet and neglected it forever. I just let it roam around the house by itself. I never pay attention to it because new pet roams around. It's so.
Here's one I feel weird about is Destroy All Humans 2. Remember how I bought and beat the first game and loved it because it was just the game that I thought it was when I was a kid, but it was remastered and it was really good. Well, that's what the second one was. Remastered, looked really pretty, everything. And I played it, and every time I pick it up, and I've opened it a couple times. I booted it a couple times, and every time I boot it, I'm like, I play it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with me because I think they're working on the third one, which will be an original one. And I think that's my brain is like, it's like, I don't want this. I want the fresh one. I was like, this is so much like the first one. So I just want the next one. And I don't know. I feel bad because I bought it and I talked about it a lot and I really wanted it. And the second I got it, I just Dudley Dursley'd and I was like, I want the next present. Like this one is good, but what about next year's Destroy All Humans? What about Destroy All Humans 3? I want to ignore that. I want you guys to release that so I can ignore that next. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I feel like I'm shitting all over 12-year-old JD who wanted to play this game when it first came out, but that one's a weird one for me.
You want to know one that I have had in my backlog forever? Honestly, I could play it and beat it in one day. It's one of those games where I like. Bad. Here's another category of backlog. I like the idea of playing it. I like the idea of the game more than I like to play it.
Feel that.
This is a free-to-play game. JD, it's free to play. It's called Samsara Room. Samsara. Samsara Room. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews. It's
free?
Yes, it's a puzzle. It's like a puzzle game. It looks maybe
Samsara Room full walkthrough, 23 minutes long.
I'm telling you. Like I want to play it. I honestly think I would enjoy that full 23 or 30 minutes, right? I would enjoy that 30 minutes. And I've had this game downloaded on my machine for years. It came out in 2020. I think I've had it downloaded on my machine that whole time. I don't know why I haven't played it. I feel like I like it. I feel like I would enjoy it, but I like the idea of playing it more than I'm like, yeah, but I could play whatever, play some Rocket League instead or something like that. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, dude,
you should just make me play this game.
Yeah, oh my god, you should play this and stream it on our Discord because I'm just watching it. It's 23 minutes. Just finish it. What are you doing?
I don't know, JD.
Just
okay,
do it. Fucking around. That's awesome. another one I have here that I think someone mentioned it to me on the podcast, and I was like, I know. I'm gonna. It's called Apico.
How do you spell it?
APICO.
Okay.
And I guess Jenna's been playing it. Something. Shit. It's a beekeeping like sim. It's supposed to be laid back. So you just kind of like wander around like I don't know.
It's very educational. This feels like the same category, a game that you like the idea of more than you actually want to play it.
Yeah, and I bought it like to support the idea that they made it, but not so much because I wanted to play it. Real tough scene over here. My bad.
You're gonna feel bad about not playing this game forever.
Yeah. So anyway, do you have any more?
Oh my gosh.
I have one more.
No.
Just this one. I don't know if you've seen this. Teardown.
Yeah.
I bought this. So many of these games were added just in like the last couple days because of this stupid Steam summer sale. As I just kept buying these, like, oh, I should have this. Oh, I should have this. This Teardown is one of these. And I was like, damn it. Okay. It's been on my wish list for like a year. I could do a keyboard confessional about wish list games that I should have bought. How many times you get emails like, oh, this game's on sale, and you're like, not enough. I'm like, just take it off your wish list, you stupid bastard.
Give it to me for 60% off, or I'm not even gonna think about it.
You got a 65% there, game son. So I'm just gonna keep it rotting on my wish list here forever. And the developer and I are in like this Mexican standoff because neither of us are ever gonna pull the trigger. They're never gonna put it at 50% off. I'm never gonna buy it at 40. So what's gonna fucking happen? But one that I did get, this Teardown game. It looks like just like a one of these physics sims. You're just like driving a car through like buildings and stuff. You get these jobs to like, you're just demoing a building, but it looks pretty realistically, right?
Like it's blocky realistic. That's what it is.
Because each of these blocks has its own physics. And so when you run like a tractor trailer into a building, like all the blocks, bricks, whatever can just like spill everywhere, which is really good. I don't know when I'm gonna play it.
And here's the thing. I feel like if you did play this game, you would actually really like it. The reviews are bananas, overwhelmingly positive, and there's 68,000 of them.
Yes.
Like,
so I'm being an idiot.
I've heard great things about this game even when it came out. It came out last year. I heard amazing things about this game. Like, people loved it so much. But yeah, I wish listed this game forever, and then I just recently, it did not make the cut of my wish list purge. I don't know why. I feel like I would enjoy this game. I did, and then I took it off my wish list.
Well, I will play it. I will let you know.
You need to play this game.
First impression rose or something. Yeah, these are all going to get played recent. Like, I wouldn't be mentioning these games because these ones make you feel guilty as fuck because I'm like, they got to be played, and I'll put them on. We'll do first impression roses. We'll do some reviews of these. But I feel so bad. Destroy All Humans 2 is probably my guiltiest one. That's my biggest sin.
Yeah,
it's just like I just feel bad.
You got to play it.
Dude,
this is funny.
Isn't that good? All right, let's move on.
Dice of Destiny.
Alrighty, Dice of Destiny is this awesome game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who will be responsible for rolling the Dice of Destiny, a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. That person then rolls another 6-sided dice to find out their budget. They go find a game in that price, in that genre, and then they play it.
Pass it on to others, so that they too may be enlightened.
What the fuck's happening?
I accidentally clicked something. Shut up.
Anyway, so Trent, possibly, maybe, we'll see. If not, we'll edit this part out. Trent might have a review for us of his Dice of Destiny game. So if he does, it'll go just right here. Bloop. Thanks for that review, Trent. That was good.
Trent. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Trent had a review.
But because we did a round, because we are just on top of it and we love you guys and care about you and want you to be happy. We did a round, and that meant that I also have a review this week. Isn't that fun?
So fun.
Are you having fun yet?
I am actually thrilled. I mean, you
Zero
can watch the
fun,
stream. Look, I'm smiling.
sir. So, I got one of our new roles because we revamped the Dice of Destiny. We added a few new categories, and one of the newest categories we added was buy a used retro game. So I went and found myself a retro game for one of the retro consoles that I have currently on hand, which is a Game Boy Advance. I went to a retro game store and I picked up Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for the Game Boy Advance.
Dude, old
as shit.
School. Yeah.
If you guys are watching the stream, here's the box for said Game Boy Advance. It's still got some of the OG plastic on it.
It's so crazy. And he bought it from like a mafia boss or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but
I didn't buy it. I made a deal for it. Okay. You don't pay for things with money.
Yeah, they don't need your money.
Yeah, they definitely don't need my money right now. What they need is loyalty. No. So I played this game for a couple hours and I walked away unimpressed. And I think it is a form factor issue that the Game Boy Advance really suffered from. Is that the Game Boy Advance, the original one that I had, the handheld, the first generation of that console, had the technical capabilities to run some really cool games and show some cool visuals, but this had this tiny little non-backlit shit screen, which they immediately improved upon with the Game Boy Advance SP that had that was a folding one, if you remember that one. And it had a backlit screen. It was comfy to hold. And I'm realizing like a couple years out that I loved my Game Boy Advance because I loved Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission. I did not play a lot of games on this thing though, because the screen was shitty. It was shittier than the Game Boy Color screen. It was weird. Yeah, it just wasn't that great. And the hand, it doesn't like really fit. So when I played Pokemon games on it, it worked great. And Metroid, it worked pretty well because it's a side scroller. But this one, Harry Potter, was using an isometric camera, kind of an angle at a top down. And that's how I played other games on this. I played a Rainbow Six game that had that kind of angle. And it was a stealth game back when Rainbow Six had a lot of stealth elements. And the problem is you're sneaking around a corner and you can't see, but there's a guy off screen that can see you, but you can't see him because of the angle of the game. And then you get seen or spotted. And Harry Potter, literally, if you hold down the action button in this game, it sneaks. He sneaks. That's how essential sneaking is to this Harry Potter game. Sneaking is a big part of it, and it's hard to do. I honestly think the game is... So I was like, it's frustrating. It's an action game, and it's really not a good, like... It's not a good platform for this type of game. And then I went and looked at the videos of it on YouTube, and it looks amazing. They made a really good fucking game for the most part for what they had, and it looked great. And then you put it on this, and like on YouTube, right? Because they're playing this on an emulator online and recording it on the computer, and of course it looks and plays great. And then they put that thing on squeeze it on this little tiny 2.5-inch Game Boy screen, and it just sucks. So that was my revelation, is that I'm gonna stick to retro games on consoles, like actual consoles. The Game Boy Advance is a nostalgic thing that I don't think I need to go back to. This game itself, like I said, it was kind of lazy. It was kind of the bare minimum license game, because I did have, and I asked my sister to borrow it, and I'm gonna probably play it on the Game Boy Advance because I'm a dumbass. But the original first Game Boy Color Harry Potter game, and that one they did, it was like turn-based combat, kind of took like a JRPG approach to it. So you ran around the castle in a top down, and you'd very pixelated sprites and stuff, and it fit and it worked. This one, the problem is like, so you have spells, and like your R trigger is your spell, and every single time you cast it, Harry goes very obnoxious very quickly. But if I want to switch from my one spell to the other, I have to click start, open up the menu, which is not fast, scroll through it to the spells, and then select the other spell and then use it. So it was just kind of slow. So I'll say this. If I had been given this game, if I had purchased this game back when I was originally playing the Game Boy Advance and I was way into Harry Potter and all that shit, this would have been an 8 out of 10 game for me. I would have been like, yeah, I played it. I liked it. I had a good time with it. It was great. And honestly, I may be looking at that other one, the Game Boy Color one with rose-colored glasses, because of that same reason, because I was like way into it at the time and it just slapped. Looking back at it, it just didn't age well. That's what I should have said at the beginning. I would have saved everyone time. This game did not age well. It was probably pretty good for what it was at the time. But this isn't like Metroid Fusion where I would go back and play it again and be like delighted by it. So
here's the issue. I've been watching some gameplay while you've been talking of this game.
It looks
here's
good,
the issue I have with it though, is like this could be any game and not Harry Potter.
Yep.
Like this
lazy
has very little to do with Harry Potter. Even the enemies, you're like, what the freak even is that? I don't know what that is.
Blobs.
Like a little turtle thing.
Yeah.
And he's just running around in this area, and you're like, this area doesn't exist. He's collecting like coins, or I don't even know.
You collect stuff, or you're like pushing a big pillar onto a button. You spend a lot of time pushing pillars onto buttons.
This could be any game.
Mm-hmm.
This does not have to be Harry Potter, right?
So I would have liked it as a kid when I didn't have a ton of games. I had 3-4 games on the Game Boy Advance total. So if this one would have been one of them, it would have been played a lot. I would have beaten it a couple times. I would have been like, cool, yeah. But like you said, generic as they come, generic and not that great.
Yeah.
I did enjoy this category though. I really hope, and I'm gonna go back there. I'm going to have two things this made me realize. The start button, which I told you I drove me nuts opening the menu because my start button is sticky. So I'm going to take it back to my Mafia friend and have him look, because he like restores hand consoles and stuff. So I'm going to have him.
It's too bad you're not up here because we have the dopest retro game store ever.
I might drive up. I mean, it's not like Lehigh's hop, skip, and a jump for me.
That's true.
Yeah, because I just need my Game Boy Advance restored, and I need to buy an N64 so I can start building an N64 collection for kid JD who never got to have one.
Who didn't have N64 does truly have some great games too, though. So it would be kind of fun to hear you play some.
Yeah. So long story short, I liked this experience. It was kind of a throwback, but the game itself, generic and not that great. That means that we do have a reroll. Peterson will just do you and me, take it back to our
let's do this
roots, and I'll be 1, 2, 3. You be 4, 5,
4,
6.
5, 6.
Oh shit! I don't have time for this. I'm playing Zelda. You stupid dice. Okay.
In the meantime, I've got so many games on my backlog that are just sitting there.
I don't want to hear it. That is a 2, which is a 2D game. Oh, thank God.
Okay, that's pretty easy. That's an easy category.
That's an easy category.
I feel like you need an easy category.
Yep. So 2D is off, and puzzle is on the deck at the 2 spot.
I like that one.
Now.
I like that one. I'm going to get puzzle and play Samsara Room. I'm going to hold it there until I roll a puzzle game. Could be 4 more years, but I will get there.
No, you're going to roll a 19 and have to play a sex game.
I'm not.
That's what's going to happen. That 19 is coming. When I saw the 2, somewhere in my brain was like, oh, it's 1 away from something.
It's
I was like,
right
wait,
there.
Did you get the sex game?
It's the opposite end.
If I get the sex game, that's not going to be fun. Everyone's like, oh, GD got the sex game. He's going to talk about pussies again. Great.
He's been wanting to play one so badly. Peterson.
But if Peterson gets the sex game.
Hold on. I got to lock my office door so the kids can't come in. How do I hide my live Steam library? I got to figure out all this new stuff.
Yeah, dude. I love that. Cool. Well, then I have a 2D.
Wait, give us your price.
Oh shoot! Do you have a dice? Because I
got one
away.
Excited.
Yeah,
here we
roll
go.
It for me.
I rolled a 6, so
$60 2D game. I'm gonna spend it all.
I don't know if they make those.
Yeah, I want it. Yeah, maybe they don't.
I think every 2D game is like $25.
Yeah, because even on the Switch, when they're like, oh, it's like a side scroller, it's like they're like, okay, it's $50. We'll give it to you for $50.
We didn't do any of the 3D. That's extra $10 to get the 3D.
Yeah, you guys pay extra for that dimension. All right. So to play us out, we've got the music from this Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets Game Boy game. They had a full soundtrack on YouTube. It's very sprite.
That's crazy.
I think there's 2 different versions or 2 different soundtracks that 2 different uploads that people have done. It's fucking crazy. The music's okay. It's all right. Just like the rest of the game. It's generic and okay. Forgettable. Thanks for hanging out. I'm JD logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK. And for everyone on the broadcast, thanks for hopping on.
Stopping by, everybody. Looks like we had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out with us.